Welcome to another edition of Lens Talk. My name is Paul, I'm your host. In this video I want to talk about SLRs doing video work. Now, a while back there was a camera called 100D that could do autofocus while filming in video. And then came along the 70D, 80D, and I believe the new budget cameras, the 750D and the 760D, can do autofocus while filming. But generally speaking, SLRs wasn't very good at doing autofocus for video basically. As you can see, as I've got here, the Sony and Canon video cameras that can do 4K and HD video, but they're actually designed specifically for that purpose, to do video basically and retain autofocus while you're filming, so you don't have to worry about focus. And I don't know if many of you actually realise this, but in film production all focusing is done manually by the operator, and that's how they can achieve good focus with things in the actual shot that may be in the foreground and background, and they can rack the focus backwards and forward. So SLRs haven't really been that good for video in the history of filmmaking, basically. Now obviously if we talk about the 70D and the 80D and the 750 and 760D cameras that have recently come out with that functionality of autofocus, we have to think about the history of filmmaking, basically. And ideally speaking, if you're a filmmaker with any sort of skill, you won't be relying on that autofocus system. And obviously the autofocus system isn't that super either. You will get far better results using manual focus, and that's what this SLR here is a 600D. But whenever I did any sort of focusing, I tended to basically do it manually. Especially when I'm doing any sort of filming, I do manual focus to make sure I get everything in focus and that I control what is in focus. But I do want to talk about people who've gone to SLRs and why they're choosing SLRs. Here I have my trusty Exacti camcorder, which is a dual camera, but what it is it's a video camera first. And then it's a camera second, where your SLRs are camera first and video camera second. This Exacti camera has one of these lens adapters, which is a fisheye, a semi-fisheye wide angle lens. It's designed for this camera. Typically these adapter lenses aren't very good, and I won't recommend using them. However, if you do get one that is specifically made by the manufacturer of your camera, I would recommend getting one, because obviously they've optimized it for your camera, so it should yield some really good results. But I wanted to talk about video, because I've done and worked on a few odd productions using mini DV cameras, and it would have never occurred to me that I could do any sort of short film using a digital SLR. I would have always used one of these semi-pro camcorders to do any sort of productions, and obviously if you look at the professionals, they're using things such as DVC Pro cameras, you know. I just wanted to touch on the element of stability on using video and video cameras. The reason people put digital SLRs on rigs, you know, that they can put on the shoulder, is so you get that extra stabilized image when you're doing your filming. You see, the reason film studios, television companies use the full shoulder mounted camera is because you're using your shoulder as a tripod in effect, and it gives the shooter a lot of stability for filming. The problem is when you go for something this small, you'll actually lose that stabilized stability. It's not like you can mount that on your shoulder, is it? So what they tend to do is you can buy rigs where you can attach this on where you can have something that's on your shoulder, but it's still not as good as having a shoulder mounted video camera. So SLRs have come a long way in able to do video in terms of their functionality and ability, because obviously they've brought in that autofocus within video mode. However, it will never compare to a camcorder or a camera, video camera. So if I just talk about the Exacti camera here, obviously it is a camcorder first. It has anti-shake technology, optical stabilizer inbuilt into it. It also has autofocus, and this is a camera that is probably, when it came out new, was probably around £300 or £400, maybe £500, which would have been substantially, obviously, cheaper than buying a full-blown SLR that may have done video. But obviously, back in the day, I believe this Exacti camera predates any sort of video functionality in SLR cameras. It's just that a lot of the manufacturers recently, such as Canon, Nikon, Sony, have jumped onto the bandwagon of being able to do video, and it's very versatile, being able to take photographs and do video. And I'm an advocate of doing long lens filming, you know, such as wildlife, with some of my 500 and 600mm lenses, and they are the video functionality of SLRs for that is fantastic. But I think it's important to note that SLRs with their video functionality cannot replace what the semi-pro and fully pro camcorders can achieve, because you've got far much more control, such as manual focus, zooming in and out is certainly a lot smoother than an SLR is, and you can use gain and auto white balance, which is so much easier to control and simpler, and obviously you get a viewfinder as well, which sometimes using a viewfinder is a must. It's one of the best things you can use when you're ever doing any sort of filming. So I just want to wrap up this video and just say, think long and hard about if an SLR is what you want to use to do video. Because it's very possible you can pick up a cheap budget SLR to do your photography, and a second-hand or budget camcorder which will do a better job than having an expensive camera such as the 5D Mark III that can do video and stills, but it won't be up to the same par, or let's say the 80D for example, in terms of it having that dual pixel autofocus system in video mode. It still won't compare to any sort of camcorder, because obviously a camcorder is developed and designed to do video specifically. Yes, they can do stills, but really it tends to be low resolution stills, nothing fantastic. But it's the video element, as well as if a camcorder is focused specifically to video and, you know, can do 4K, it's going to be a lot cheaper. And I think the cheapest SLR in Canon's range anyway that can do 4K is the 1DX, which is a lot of money. I think the Mark 1's £3,000 and the Mark 2's £6,000. So obviously SLRs with video functionality and 4K becomes extremely expensive. So you're probably better off sticking to a camcorder if you want to do video. I hope this video did enlighten you in terms of what are the benefits of camcorders doing video. I do love SLRs for what they can do with photography, and the ability to switch and do a bit of video manual focus is great for me. I find that useful. But if I really want to use something that can autofocus on me and stay on me, I think I would prefer some sort of camcorder that's dedicated to do video, and it will probably work out cheaper in terms of if you do want to do 4K video, to get some sort of second-hand pro or semi-pro camcorder and get yourself maybe another SLR to do photographs and photography specifically for that purpose. So I hope I haven't rambled too much on this video, but I just wanted to put it out there that camcorders and video cameras are dedicated to capture video, and you can obviously achieve a lot more with those cameras. Just before I go, I just want to talk about the limitations of using SLRs for video. Now, you may not be aware of this, or if you are a pro, you probably will already know this, but the problem with SLRs is when they're capturing video, anything that's vertical will look like it's slanting a little bit, and we call this the rolling shutter issue, because the shutter on an SLR is basically capturing the scene from the top down, like so. So when you start panning, there's a lag, there's a delay in what it's capturing. However, with a video camera or a camcorder, it uses a different type of sensor, a CCD sensor, where the SLRs use a Cosmos sensor. And obviously the camcorder is designed to capture a moving image while you're panning. And that's why video cameras are better than SLRs at capturing video. Obviously, you might be aware of the moire issue, which is basically some cameras suffer with patterns on jackets and coats and shirts, and it's like the pattern is actually dancing on screen. I believe the 5D Mark III has a filter to try and cut down on that, but it still is an issue, and it's something, it is a problem for all cameras, not just SLRs and video cameras. They both suffer from the same problem. So I just want to put it out there that you need to think long and hard about what camera is best for you and what will you be using it for. If you're going to be using doing a lot of video, get yourself a camcorder or video camera. Or if you're going to be doing a lot of stills, get yourself an SLR, a camera. Sure, get something in between if you need to, like the 70D or 80D that can do autofocus video as well as photography. But if you're wanting something that ain't gonna cost you a lot of money, think about investing in, you know, some sort of budget camcorder to do your video, and then get a budget SLR to do your photography. And I think you'll be overall happier with that than spending a lot of money on a 5D Mark III that might cost you $3,000, or maybe getting yourself the 70D or 80D. It costs around $900 to £1,000. The choice is yours. I hope this video was informative, and have a nice day.